everybody, and welcome back to Shou Plays Seduce Me, the otome. Things seem to be wrapping up, but I'm not quite sure. I nodded to myself before heading into my room, closing the door and mentally allowing the reality of the situation to sink in. Tomorrow, I had school. No devils to kidnap me. No incubi to wake up with. I went to bed that night, accepting and not regretting anything. Or so I had hoped.
You are an interesting creature.
So I guess not? I opened my eyes to see a woman staring down at me with a very sly smirk on her face. I opened my mouth to scream with fright, but a hand quickly covered my mouth.
No screaming now. Too early, silly girl.
Okay, who are you? I could only stare up at the woman above me. I still felt weak, not having the strength to move and fight her off. She was very beautiful, but I felt more anger than amazement.
Why do the boys like you? You're unique, yes, but that can't be all that you have going for you.
No, that's probably it. They've just never seen a human before or something. Rage began to consume my core again. This woman, whoever she was making me mad. She must have known as she let another smirk grow on her face.
Ooh, you're feisty. That could be why.
Before I could bite her hand in anger, she removed her hand from my lips, standing up and staring down at me from her place next to my bed. How did you even get in here? I quickly sat up and glared daggers at the intruder. Who the hell are you? And why are you in my room? And how did you get in here? The woman began to laugh, making the rage inside me increase. I wanted to punch her, but I waited for her to answer.
How silly of me. I forgot that we demons are not well known of in your world. You can call me Diana, little human.
Okay, that doesn't really answer anything. That's just your name. Diana? Demon? You're a demon?
I am, but I'm much more than just an average demon.
You don't say. What do you mean?
Silly girl. I'm a succubus.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I stared at Diana in shock. A succubus? First incubi and now a succubus? Great. I have now met both genders of sex demons. Diana crossed her arms under her bosom and looked at my body.
Well, you are pretty.
Okay, that creeps me out. Don't.
But you seem very reckless. Too reckless.
She is pretty reckless. I moved out and stood from my bed, still glaring at Diana. Why are you here?
Well, I came here to clean up what the boys clearly forgot to clean. Men. So sloppy.
What are you talking about? What do you mean by that?
I mean erasing your memories, sweetie.
Oh. Well, okay. Not so okay. Huh. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm gonna have to think about that, but I'm gonna press next anyway. This woman wasn't serious, was she? She comes into my room and spouts this? This was ridiculous. I began to walk towards my door, wanting to leave the room. The boys could get rid of her. I had no mind about dealing with her myself.
The boys are gone, sweetie.
It is, morning-ish, probably. I froze in place. What? They were gone already? No way. I turned to Diana, glaring hard at her as she kept a smirk to me. You're lying.
Am I? If you want to go see for yourself, you can, but I promise you'll be wasting your time.
I believe her. I stared, trying to find any hint if she was lying. She had to be. Boys wouldn't just up and leave without resting first, right? They probably would. Yeah, they probably would. Diana crossed her arms and waited for me to make a choice. I decided to believe her for now. I'd find some hint in this conversation. What do you mean, take my memories?
Well, we demons can't have just anyone knowing about us. You have to completely devote your soul to learning about us. And even then, it's not always guaranteed that you can be granted knowledge of us.
What makes me not deserve to know everything? I was attacked by devils. I found the boys in my house, wounded, and sheltered them. I think I deserve to remember those moments. Diana let out a laugh, running a hand through her hair before looking back to me, amused.
You were attacked by a gang and were almost killed. You found 5 homeless men and let them stay in your home. There's nothing special about either of these instances.
She's kinda right. Although, when you put it that way, it sounds just as creepy as exactly as it was. Yes, there was.
A human like you can't understand the rules. The boys themselves aren't even aware of the rules. They'll learn soon enough.
Why didn't you tell them the rules? Diana flipped her hair before looking at me with a stern look.
Listen, sweetie. You're not going back to bed or leaving this house with those memories. I'm taking them from you, one way or another.
But why? I glared, standing my ground. You're not taking my memories. I'm not letting you take them.
And what do you plan to do with them, huh? Tell the press? Gossip to your friends that demons exist? Confess to your parents that you had demon servants and were almost killed by a devil gang?
Just remember, I guess. Now she was making me mad. Did she seriously think I was this stupid? These memories were precious to me, and I wasn't going to let her win over my mind. These memories are important to me. I know that other creatures exist. I know that magic exists. I'm more open-minded now.
Open-minded or gullible?
I'm gonna vote gullible, actually. What did she mean by that? The point of being open-minded was to be open to all thought. How is that anything close to being gullible?
There is nothing to learn from remembering the boys that won't bring trouble. I'm merely saving you from that. There are more than just demons who want to keep their existence a secret.
I think she's doing you a favor, Tamantha.
There are many creatures in this world that don't want to be known of, and you remembering a small fragment is not acceptable to them without good reason.
What counts as a good reason? Diana smirked.
If you would have kept the boys, or at least had one of them around, they'd be a little more lenient to listen to your pleas. However, you're about to go into tomorrow without any of them around.
Why would I choose favorites and only keep one around? I couldn't believe my ears. There were more than just demons? Other fictional creatures existed? There was a system? What? Diana sighed and snapped her fingers, lifting my body up from the ground with her magic.
Look, I can kill you and no longer waste what little time I have, or I can erase your memories and go on with my life. I have more important things to do above arguing with you.
That was a scary growl. I looked to the ground to see something that made every nerve in my body quickly quake in fear. On the ground was a large open mouth with sharp, wet teeth, leading to an empty black abyss. I could feel the heat from the mouth's breath pant against my floating body. Ah! I looked to Diana, who was looking at me with stern and almost heartless gaze.
Make a choice, sweetie. Give up your memories or be a demon's snack. I warn you, he's quite the biter.
Huh. I actually get a choice? I was panicking. I was about to die. Again. The boys weren't here to protect me. What was I going to do? Can I make a deal? Then I remembered. Demons had a conscience. They weren't heartless without reason. She could be reasoned with. She seemed like a businesswoman. Wait.
What? You're wasting my time.
What about a deal, huh? Diana raised an eyebrow. I was afraid she wasn't one to listen. What if she was as ruthless as I imagined her to be?
I'm listening.
Wait, really? Was she really willing to listen to me? She didn't drop me in the pit of death, but she didn't let me out of her spell. Now is a good time as any to try to reason. These memories are precious to me, but they're not worth me losing my life.
Of course.
I mean, if I die, people will wonder and try to find explanations to why I died or where I disappeared to.
Then just hand over your memories.
What if I traded them to you instead? You seem like a reasonable businesswoman. A trade is better than forcing me to give in, right? This was insane. I didn't even know if she was willing to listen. She already had me hanging over a pit of death. The only thing I could hope for was her being forgiving enough to listen to reason.
Well, speak your terms. What do you want in exchange?
I didn't think that far ahead. I let out a relieved sigh. She was willing to listen further. Well, what can you give me in return for them?
I'm a demon. I can give you anything within reason. Money, men, women, power. Name it. Just make it worth the price.
I want power? She could really get me anything? My mind began to wander. What did I want? What a choice. Oh gosh, I don't know what to pick. I mean, power sounds great, but I'm really, really curious as to what this option does. I heard Diana stifle a laugh.
Me? Are you serious? What do you mean, me?
I have no idea. I just picked it because I'm curious. I looked to Diana again. She was indeed scary, but she was gorgeous and somehow she interested me. More so than the boys. I mean, you're staying with me for a little while. I want to get to know you and these rules you're talking about.
A human wanting to know more about a demon and the rules. You're really trying to step over your place, especially if you'll be losing those memories in the end.
Yeah. I'm serious. I'll give you my memories and energy if you stay just for a couple days. A day even. It'll be worth it.
Completely willingly?
Yeah, why not, I guess. Completely willingly.
And if you don't fulfill your end of the bargain?
I guess throw me into a giant demon mouth and I die? Then you can feed me to your pit beast. Did that really slip out of my mouth? Was I really wanting to put my life back on the line again? If it meant keeping my memories for a little longer, then yes. Diana looked to me, scanning my body with her eyes for any signs of false intent. I didn't have any, so Diana sighed and snapped her fingers again. The demon below me vanished and I was slowly lowered to the ground. I looked to Diana in surprise.
You are very lucky demon magic is so finicky.
What do you mean? That's just what I said.
Why do you think demons make deals with humans like you?
For funsies? I wasn't sure. Demons were still new to me. I had heard stories of people making deals with demons, and only ruin coming from it. Diana sighed.
It's one thing to take your memories or your energy. It's another for you to willingly give it. We get more for our effort if the one we make a deal with is willing.
Oh. Hey, I learned a new rule already.
Think of it like sex. If I'm aroused and you're willing to open your legs for me, I'll get pleasure. I'll enjoy it. You might enjoy it. And it's done.
Can I not think of it like that, please?
But if you aren't willing and I force myself on you anyway, it's not so pleasurable for me. Even if I get what I want, it won't be as worth the effort.
Strangely, that made sense. It was very much like a business. If I had what they want, they could negotiate for it or they could take it away anyway, but not without a fight. Were they all really business-oriented? My curiosity grew about demons as I realized what deal I had made. So, you'll stay for a couple of days?
A day is enough.
I guess. Fair enough. Yeah, sure. Fine.
Yeah, sure. Fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Diana looked at me up and down once again. I felt a little naked all of a sudden under her gaze, but I ignored it as she shrugged.
All right.
Diana kept her eyes on me, unsure of what was going on from the look on her face.
So, what do you want to know? You're obviously curious about demons enough to make a deal with me.
All of the things. Teach me everything. My first thought shot to her, but then I remembered the boys. Not all of my questions were answered, and I wanted to know everything. First of all, who exactly are you? Diana chuckled before crossing her arms.
You may refer to me as simply Diana. As I said before, I'm a succubus, and I intend to bring the boys back home.
Okay, why? Back home? What do you mean? Back to the demon world?
Precisely. They don't belong here, and it's imperative that they return.
Why?
Did they not tell you? They're runaway royals.
What? I couldn't believe my ears. What? They were royalty? Why would they run away from royalty? They did say they had a castle. Diana simply smirked at my new surprised face.
Ah, so they didn't tell you. How unfortunate. You were in the presence of a demon prince and his noble brothers and you didn't even know.
That kinda explained some things. I felt myself unconsciously walk over and sit on my bed. They hid something gigantic from me. Why? Did they not trust me? Of course not. They knew you for like 3 days. Then again, it had only been a couple of days. But they helped me and were here for me regardless, acting like servants instead of noblemen. I gripped my head in frustration. What am I supposed to believe?
Believe whatever you wish. The confusion will fade away soon enough regardless.
That's true. I looked to Diana, who only gave me an almost somber look in return. She was serious about removing my memories. But she would keep her end of the deal until I learned all I could. That, and I felt thrilled to have her. Maybe it was because she was a succubus. I didn't know. I sighed and faced Diana. So how did you get to the human world? How did the boys get here?
With the help of a human, in both of our cases. There's truly no need for details beyond that. Any human can cast a demon's summoning spell. It's just a matter of what happens during the summoning and after where things get tricky.
What do you mean? See, just the same thing I said.
Well, if a human is willing, only part of their life force is taken from them, and they are given one chance to open a bridge between our worlds to allow the demon they desire to come through. The more demons come through, the more life force the spell takes.
Oh, that's why Grandpa died, because 5.
Luckily for the poor human that brought them here, the boys sacrificed some of their own powers to open the bridge instead of letting the spell feed solely on the human. The human lived, and the boys came through.
I see. That almost made sense. Something in my mind clicked, but I couldn't clear it out to figure out what it was. I only nodded to Diana. And you were the same?
Somewhat. However, I don't care to go into details about how I came here. You'll forget soon enough.
If I'll forget, what's the harm telling me? That's not part of the deal.
You wish to have me around for more information. I get to decide what information to give.
Cheater.
It's not cheating if it's not a broken rule.
I suppose it is just a loophole. I huffed and crossed my arms and legs. Diana was a game player and I didn't like her rules. However, they were the rules I had to accept in order to keep my memories a little while longer. I'd find a way to remember. She wasn't going to win. Diana let out a small chuckle and ran a hand through her hair.
Well, I believe I should head to bed. If I'm to stay here, then I need some form of sleep.
Why? I watched as Diana crossed through my room to the door and opened it. She turned with me with a small wink.
Have a good night. See you in the morning.
Bright and early. Don't forget it. Before I could respond, she exited my room and closed the door behind her. I stared. It was like she was in control. I almost gritted my teeth at the thought. She wasn't the master of the house. I was. I huffed and crawled back under the covers. How did my life get so complicated? What was going on with me? Must have had serious bad luck. I sighed and covered myself with my blankets, wanting tonight to end. I needed tomorrow to come. School would take my mind off things. You're not gonna skip school to learn more information? I would. If school actually happened, anyway. I awoke that morning minutes before my alarm. I felt slightly groggy, but I didn't exactly feel bad. It was more of a physical exhaustion with a mind ready to take on the day. And she'll take on the day in the next episode. See you then.